The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. It is time for the free agent grades for the NFC West, the best division in football. I don't think there's any doubting that. You got the Rams, you got the Cardinals, the 49ers, and the Seahawks.
Just understand,
yes, I put them in that order in a specific reason.
Yeah, just understand the Seahawks are the worst team in this division. They'd probably be the best team in 4 others.
Yes. There is no doubt about that. So let's get into the free agent grades. San Francisco 49ers, they were killed by injuries this past year. There's been the quarterback controversy of what are we going to do with Jimmy Garoppolo? They've traded up in the draft to number 3. They're going to get a quarterback at number 3. We just don't know who it is. They say they're going to hold on to Jimmy Garoppolo, and but that's a story for another day. Let's talk about the free agency class here. They added Alex Mack to the offensive line. They brought back Trent Williams and make him the highest paid left tackle in NFL history. I love what they have done in this offseason. Keeping everybody was key. Obviously, as a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, I'm a big fan of bringing everybody back, and San Francisco has brought back everybody that they need to.
Alex Mack is a big deal having a rookie quarterback under center, which I firmly believe they're going to. I'm going to be very clear about something from the jump. If they get something for Jimmy Garoppolo that's not just hemorrhaging him out, that grade will go up 1 full letter. The way they've handled this Jimmy Garoppolo thing, it's so disingenuous that it pisses me off. I believe they're going to take Trey Lance. I don't think you can leave him sitting behind Jimmy Garoppolo. And with the weapons and the line and all of and the defense that you have here, you don't have to ask him to do a whole lot. There are very few places that I would have ever said Trey Lance could play this year and I'd be okay. This is one of them. The Garoppolo thing, I don't think you can go into a year with the aspirations they have with him under center. Because the first time he throws 2 picks and a half, everybody in the stadium is going to be screaming for the rookie. And I just don't think that's a viable way to go into this year with as good as this team is. Now, if they find a way to get Bill Belichick to come off a second-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo, all of a sudden you had one of the best off seasons of any team in this league. Because they have great weapons. You know, whether it's Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, I still like Jalen Hurd, and of course George Kittle and Raheem Mostert. I mean, this is a good team. I think it's going to hurt that they lost Rob Salah, but they had a ready-made replacement in D'Amico Ryans. I just think this is a team that, just by being healthy, is going to be markedly better. Plus, you've improved. I really like San Francisco. I just don't want it to be with Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think they'll be fine with Jimmy Garoppolo having him start a year. He is a serviceable quarterback. He has already led this team to a Super Bowl. And save for one overthrow in the Super Bowl, they could have won it. I believe John Lynch when he says that they are still planning to have Jimmy Garoppolo on the field as their starting quarterback.
I don't believe him as far as I can throw him, and I don't think it's fair to Jimmy Garoppolo or the organization to go into the year that way.
I think Jimmy
doesn't work that way anymore. The Pat Mahomes
sit for a year.
It doesn't work. And people say, oh, it worked 3 years ago in Kansas City. Yeah, because Pat Mahomes was a damn nobody. I mean, even drafted, I had him as my number 1 quarterback in that draft class, and I had people make fun of me. Now, granted, that was more because of how down I was on Deshaun Watson and Mitch Trubisky, but that's neither here nor there. That won't work with a kid like Trey Lance because now we've got, Twitter's a bigger deal. I can see all of the things he did in college, and anytime Jimmy Garoppolo does anything, the fan base is going to be screaming for him. And then it causes dissension in the locker room. It's a bad business model, in my opinion. I don't disagree that he's a good quarterback, serviceable quarterback, whatever adjective you want to use there.
Yeah.
He's the best opportunity for them to win the most games next year.
Yes.
I think delaying the rookie for a year is stupid with a guy that you have absolutely no intention of keeping around.
I think with Trey Lance, he's the one guy that they can do that with because he doesn't have a lot of starting experience, played at the sub-level of college football. I think the fan base would be more okay with him sitting. Now, if they decide that Justin Fields is the guy at number 3, then I think you've got a quarterback controversy.
100%. If Justin Fields is the quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo has to be gone before the draft's over.
Agreed.
And I feel the same way about Trey Lance. That doesn't really change anything to me.
Paying Kyle Juszczyk, I thought that might be the one deal that you didn't like.
He's too important to this offense. You couldn't not pay him. I think you had to pay him. Because if you didn't, the Jets were going to, and they had a lot of money.
Right. I really like the fact that they brought him back. Emmanuel Mosley, Jaquiski Tart, both of those guys were really good guys to retain for them. Picking up Samson Ebukam from the Rams, though, I love that move. Adding him to the pass rush that they already have in San Francisco, I think was an excellent move, and bringing in Verrett as well.
Well, Verrett was already there. They just re-signed him.
Oh, excuse me.
I agree. You retained a lot of your guys off one of the best defenses in the NFL. All you have to do is not play in the Meadowlands next year, because that's where half your team died.
Right.
So, and to my knowledge, they don't play there next year. So I think they'll be just fine.
And hopefully they don't go to FedEx Field either.
Yeah, that didn't go well for them.
It's not good. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We are in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Be sure to hit like and subscribe so you'll see all of our free agent grades. The Arizona Cardinals have made a big move in this offseason by getting J.J. Watt. That, to me, is above and beyond anything that I thought they would be able to do in the offseason. J.J. Watt coming over to join his former Houston Texan, DeAndre Hopkins. It's just an immediate impact. He's a guy that you really want in the locker room with a very young defense. I think not only did they get a guy who really has a lot left in his tank, but they also got a guy who I feel like can come in and sort of be a coach/player. Agreed?
I love the J.J. Watt signing for them. You got Chandler Jones on the other side. Now you're going to have a ferocious pass rush. You didn't overpay Patrick Peterson just because he's one of the best players in your franchise's history. He's more name at this point than he is actual value. Now, granted, 1 year, $10 million, it is what it is. I think this is a team that's going to draft a corner. I actually like the A.J. Greene deal as well. To me, there's no flaw in taking a 1 year flyer on a guy like that I've seen be really, really good. And now you've got more weapons than you know what to do with. Thank God you didn't re-sign Kenyon Drake, because for the love of God, it is time to free Chase Edmonds.
Yes.
And I am here for it, and I'm going to like it a lot.
Absolutely. I have no disagreements there. This offense is what it is. They have a lot of great talent on the offense. The only thing I would have liked to have seen them add was a tight end, and that's something that I feel like they're going to target in the draft.
There are a lot of them in this draft. So, I mean, and I agree with you. I think they've done some low-key, really good things on the offensive line. This is a quick get the ball out of Kyler Murray's hands offense. You know, he takes off on the second read. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal that you have DJ Humphries and Kelvin Beachum. They're serviceable NFL players. Nothing to write home about, but also not liabilities. And I really like the interior of this line. Then I look at the defense. Your biggest need, to me, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you address with Malcolm Butler. I think Malcolm Butler can be the one. I don't think he's a premier one, but he's a very solid, serviceable number one corner in this league. They go into this draft not having to do anything. You can draft the best player available and pad this roster and hope that Cliff Kingsbury becomes the coach that he needs to be for this team to get where it's supposed to.
Yeah. Now, they did lose Hassan Reddick in the offseason. They lost Kenyon Drake. But I don't really knock them for losing those guys, because I felt like they were probably going to be tempted to overpay.
I honestly think Kenyon Drake was an addition by subtraction, in my opinion, because I think Chase Edmonds is a better running back in this league.
I agree.
Hassan Reddick, I don't know where you're going to play him. You know, the problem was he was going to be a rotational piece. He probably wasn't going to be happy with that. He hits the open market, goes back to play with his college coach, Matt Rule. I have no problem with that. I think pass rush is something you're going to have. You'll get plenty of. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. I know we focus on free agents in this, but also just wanted to mention the Rodney Hudson trade because I thought that really fortified their offensive line.
He is a markedly better center than Mason Cole was. Mason Cole fetched a 6th-round pick from the Vikings, and I'll be honest with you, I think it's a small miracle that you got a 6 for him. That's a hell of a move. Now, I know he's a better guard than he is center, but he was one of the worst centers in the NFL last year.
Your best team in the NFC from 2020, they've definitely made a rise for the 2021 season.
Best team in the NFC, 2021.
Be sure to like and subscribe to the Sportsocracy here on YouTube. All of our free agent grade videos are quickly wrapping up here.
And now we'll be starting our 7-round mock draft team by team on Friday, April the 2nd.
Nice. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene once again in the Wicked Weed studio. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. The defending NFC West champions Seattle Seahawks have had the offseason that no one could have predicted. I don't know where it came from. All the Russell Wilson discontent that has been happening around this team has been baffling. It's been nothing but a major distraction. They needed to upgrade their offensive line. They haven't really done that. I mean, Gabe Jackson, getting him in a trade was an okay move. They did end up signing him to a 3-year contract extension after the trade. But there again, they have added a couple of pieces that I do like. Gerald Everett coming in to play tight end. I think that's going to be a decent move. Give Russell Wilson a target. Should it be Russell Wilson who's the quarterback, which I fully anticipate happening. And they added to their secondary as well. I like Ahkello Witherspoon coming from the San Francisco 49ers. I know he's not a huge name. I know he's not Pro Bowl, all-pro level player, but I still think he's a very solid piece for the secondary for the Seattle Seahawks. Those are my 2 favorite moves.
I hate virtually everything that the Seattle Seahawks have done since this shit started.
Really?
The Russell Wilson thing's a joke. I'm going to say the same thing about this that I said about the election and about the coronavirus. If you don't want me to believe it's one thing, you're doing a really shitty job of not making me think that. Leaving him out of the release to the season ticket holders, leaving him out of the hype videos, it's just stupid. It's stupid, petty shit that you should be that an organization of this class should be better than. That's why I've killed them. I think your offensive line still sucks. You're still counting on Brandon Shell to play right tackle. Yeah, look at the helmet over my shoulder. I know Brandon Shell pretty well. He's not good. If you're counting on him to be one of your tackles, your line is brutally bad. Bad thing is, you don't have any draft capital to make it better because you gave that up for Jamal Adams in a trade that I said you were going to regret, and I guarantee you every Seahawks fan on planet Earth would unwind right now if they could.
Did you like the Kerry Hyder signing?
It's fine. He's a rotational defensive end. I mean, that's the way. It's the NFC West way of doing things, having a bunch of guys to rotate in and out. You know, you take him away from a division rival, which I get it. I understand the perk of that. That's the reason they didn't get a Gary Busey, because trust me, I fucking considered it.
Yeah.
But between that and Gerald Everett, I think those are actual usable pieces. I just think the defense is so bad. And the offensive line is so bad. And the weapons are not good outside of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I mean, you have nothing else outside of those 2 guys. And I just look at all these things and go, every team in your division's gotten better and you've gotten worse. I can't reward that in any way. This is the worst team in the NFC West, and nobody will ever convince me different.
My grade would have been worse had they not re-signed Chris Carson and Carlos Dunlap. I know you don't like Carlos Dunlap, but I still feel like he's a good piece. It's not that I don't like him, it's that I don't think he's an impact piece. I mean, I think he's just a dude at this point. Good dude. One of the better defensive players they have. Yep. But I don't think it changes anything. I look at this defense and just go, ugh. I didn't like the Jordan Brooks deal. I mean, now, granted, he probably played equivocally well to Patrick Queen last year, but that really says more about Patrick Queen than it does about Jordan Brooks.
I think you need to bring back KJ Wright, whether you will or not. There's been absolutely no movement in that direction from what I have seen or from what I have heard. I don't see any way this isn't the worst team in the NFC West.
I don't either. I think they have fallen to that 4 spot in the NFC West. I will be truly shocked if they don't finish in the cellar of this division. But with all that said, I still believe that this is going to be a team that's going to be knocking on the door of the playoffs. I think this entire division could get into the playoffs. That's how good I think the offense is.
Could, but won't. They won't. It doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
You play 6 games against your own division,
You're right.
and I don't think they're going to be favored in any of them.
None of them. Okay.
I mean, maybe by within a field goal in the 1 or 2 of the 3 at home, but that's it.
I agree. Hit like and subscribe here on the channel. You're in the Sportsocracy. We are in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We'll see you next time. The Los Angeles Rams started out the offseason, before the offseason even really started, with the biggest trade of the offseason, getting Matt Stafford and sending Jared Goff over to the Detroit Lions. A couple of trades that have been made between the Detroit Lions and the LA Rams. This kind of, the ties between the two organizations now. In free agency, though, I mean, they were able to re-sign Leonard Floyd, and they brought in Deshaun Jackson. It was a very underwhelming offseason for me. That's why I gave them the C-. Jeremy, you love it, though.
Because I can't take away the Matt Stafford thing. Very rarely, when we did this, we were like, you can't. You got to stem in the direction of just free agent signings. Well, here's the thing. I can't get away from Matt Stafford with this team because that was the offseason. The biggest drawback of this team, it's very, very talented. And the biggest drawback was you didn't have a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Well, now you do. Mm-hmm. And now you have a big arm quarterback that can take advantage of all the weapons you have. I really like Cam Akers coming back. This is a team that's drafted really, really well. And I just struggle to believe. All right, so let me ask this.
Yes.
You hammer them for not bringing back John Johnson, right?
Yeah.
I just don't. I look at the fact that you've got guys like Jordan Fuller and Taylor Rapp. You've drafted so well that you've given me every reason to believe that you're going to be just fine. Mm-hmm. Plus, you have Jalen Ramsey and Rodarius Williams. Mm-hmm. It's just hard for me to care. It's hard for me to care that you didn't pay $11 million to a safety. I think he's a good safety. Mm-hmm. He's a very good safety. But Samson Ebukam and Troy Hill, I mean, whoop-de-doo. Troy Hill is going to be the third corner on this team. Ebukam has always been a very flashy guy, but not a lot of substance. Mm-hmm. PFF grades on him, not great. Watching tape on him, he gets lost in space. Sometimes it kind of is what it is. Mm-hmm. And then you add, and I've got those backwards. I put the additions on the subtractions. Being sick's a bitch. Like, it's taken a half a pot of coffee just to get me to this point. So apologies. You kill me in the comments for that. You do for everything.
It's all right. You just got to flip the plus and the minus. Losing John Johnson and Troy Hill from the secondary, yes, I knocked them for that because they weren't able to replace those guys. And I get it. You say they've got young prospects on the team that you think can fill in just as good. I beg to differ. I just don't. I mean, I think your defense is going to take a hit because of this.
I don't.
Are you still going to be a great team? Absolutely. Do I think you're still going to win the division? Absolutely. Do I think that you're going to be one of the top teams in the NFC and a threat to the Super Bowl? Absolutely.
I look at it this way. I get Sean McVay. I get the best quarterback in this division. I get the best weapons in this division. Oh, and I have the best 2 defensive players in the entire division in Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm going to be just fine. Mm-hmm. Star-driven league. I'm totally fine with it. I actually like what they did. I'm shocked that a team that was this killed against the salary cap found a way to get rid of Jared Goff and wound up with Matt Stafford. Yes, I call Jared Goff that because I don't think he's a real-life person. One of the 5 most overrated quarterbacks in my entire lifetime. Mm-hmm. The last time we did a Rams video, I got a lot of, why do you call him Jared Goff? Because I think he's a joke. That's why. And you parlay that joke and a couple 20s first-round picks. for a legitimate quarterback that gives you a shot to win a Super Bowl.
Yep. I think the LA Rams have a lot to look forward to in this season. I just wasn't wild about not being able to replace the stars that they lost on that defense. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We're in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Catch us live every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Hit like and subscribe to the channel to see all of our free agent videos and everything broken down for you team by team.
Draft team by team 7-round mock draft starts Friday, April the 2nd. So make sure to click the subscribe button so you can see all of the team related content before draft day.
We'll see you next time.